Oh, oh my god. Oh, that's hilarious. Are you sure you left our last flavored waffle up there?
You know the rules, Andy. Finders keepers. Except in situations of final waffle where highest hiding place wins.
Our housing agreement is insane. We have to review that thing someday. So, how do I get up there?
You jump, dash, jump from that dash, hit the wall, dash, jump from that dash, but backward this time toward the ledge, then ledge grab. Hopefully your fingers aren't made of butter and you have agile hands and legs.
All of that sounded unnecessary and complicated, so I just double jumped. Seemed like the easier option.
Huh, that is easier. I guess I could have just flown up there.
What?
Have you ever had a desire to murder your father so great that you stow away on pirate ships, smash creatures on islands in the air, and straddle an adventure so riddled with unnecessary button presses you'll put up with anything and everything to complete your task?
Has anyone had a desire for anything that strong?
Vernal does. In Vernal Edge, you take on the role of Vernal, a badass swordsman with the power to play keepy-uppies with her enemies, expand her arsenal of attacks and abilities via memory discs and major memories, and a strong taste for patricide.
Her father, Asphodel, is a mysterious figure that is somewhat responsible for the world you operate in, both for familial reasons and scientific ones. He raised the land from the earth below to create the islands. He caused the... This can't be right. Unreality storms?
That's right.
Unreality?
Yeah.
Okay. Unreality storms that will halt your progress as well as allow you safe travel later in the game. He's probably also the reason Vernal has to remember how to do basic things like jump, dash, jump after dashing, jump after touching a wall, jumping after dashing after jumping after touching a wall after jumping, and reading. Wait, reading?
Yeah, this is one of my biggest problems with Vernal Edge. Vernal can't read. Signs, cabinets with ingredients, and other written text is a rare find in this game. Even so, having extra context given by these mediums would help explain why the world is the way it is. You don't earn the ability to read until you're 2/3 of the way through the game, which makes reading seem superfluous at that point.
As Vernal, you will recruit Sherville, a bot who has no memories of who he is or what he's done, but can pilot an airship, conveniently, and travel via that airship to different raised lands. The world map expands as you take on bosses, enter unreality portals, smash these giant Google Maps thumbtacks, and collect 5 pieces of a compass. Completing these tasks will clear up large unreality storms, and reveal more islands to check for clues about Asphodel, more adventure to straddle, and even some minigames.
I'm not sure what happened in this future, but if this is what it did to baseball, I think we may have fucked up way too many things.
Most of these, along with other platforming challenges, reward you with heart or mana pieces. Collecting enough will expand your HP or your mana, respectively. HP determines how many trucks can run over you, and mana determines how many times you can use the collectible spells. Using up all your mana will cause it to recharge very slowly, and this wait will only extend as you find more mana pieces.
Why doesn't the game tell you your total mana, or how much mana each spell takes up? You don't know how powerful any of these spells are until you waste them in battle only to realize they don't break the enemy's guard, or that they do, and you can only use the spell once before you're forced to wait for your mana to recharge very slowly.
There is also the memory point system. You'll find memory points every so often as you explore, and they'll give you 1 more to spend on the memory discs you find. Memory discs are these handy rounds that will grant you abilities you can equip if you have enough memory points. Discs will allow abilities such as doing more damage, acquiring more money, or mana and pulse recharging faster.
Which brings us to our next meter on screen, your pulse meter.
Oh, another meter.
This will fill as you attack enemies and play keepy-uppies with them. Press Y on your controller to cause Vernal to throw a ghostly version of her blade. Aim that at an enemy to mark it. Then press Y again with or without a direction to cause Vernal to yell, "Pulse." Then she will perform a somewhat stronger attack. These attacks are not only kind of strong, but they cause these red orbs to appear from enemies. Collecting them will heal Vernal. Using Pulse and or finding and slapping these tiny creatures are the only ways to heal yourself on the field. Save points will heal you completely, fill your mana, and replenish half of your pulse meter as well.
Sweet furore. What is this meter then?
This is your strangely animated ultimate attack. It will fill even slower than your pulse meter as you fight stuff. Then when you press left trigger, the screen will darken, 5 beams of doom will strike every enemy, then 5 Vernal will appear, do a flip, and then attack all enemies. It's a very strangely animated attack.
The combat of Vernal Edge takes place almost entirely in lock-in type arenas with waves of enemies coming to kill you. Small or big, they all have fairly predictable attacks which you can counter using left bumper, then attack immediately after. Sometimes enemies will have these blue orbs attached to their HP bars. That is how many times you must strike them with a charged attack, holding X to strike. a counterattack, throwing another enemy at them, or a strong enough spell. Doing this for as many times as there are orbs will stun the enemy and allow you to do what you've been doing, but without fear of rebuttal, at least until this other meter runs out. Then the enemy will get back up, orbs replenished, ready for your next round of somewhat stronger attacks.
Bosses follow this formula too. Break their orbs, smack them when they're stunned, repeat. You know, until they roll over you like a fucking freight train.
Bosses in this game lack any kind of balance for their attacks. Every single hit from every single boss will immediately force you on the defensive as they take away HP greater than or equal to a third of what you have. Considering pulse is your only means of healing yourself in battle, this feels very unbalanced. Your pulse attacks heal very little of your HP, specifically the mid-air ones, and your best bet becomes pray your counters, dashes, and jumps get you out of the way of the boss's attacks while you slowly charge your pulse meter back up.
These issues are compounded specifically during this boss fight with Hammer Lady, who I don't care to remember the name of. With attacks that can turn on a dime even while she's in the middle of them, each and every single one effectively cutting your HP in half, and the fact you're trapped in here.
I'm trapped? In here? With you?
Nah, with her.
Not so bad.
After collecting all the compass pieces, straddling your adventure through each unreality, portal, and storm, completing several abso-fucking-lutely useless main quest tasks.
The game does this a lot, where a main quest is framed as something important to do, so you complete it, only to be told you didn't need to do it by the character that requested it of you, effectively wasting your time. You complete an entire coliseum and span an island for tea ingredients. In both cases, you don't receive your intended prize and are basically told your princess is in another castle. It's extremely rude.
And wondering what determines which enemy gets any amount of blue orbs or the hard-to-break large one, you come upon the final island in this game, the one where Asphodel resides, or is supposed to. Traverse this ridiculous area, complete the ridiculous lock-in platforming puzzles, and come to face with the Hammer Lady for the third time in this game. Die to her, then find out you're trapped in the room just before you face her. You can't leave via door or main menu option. You can't leave to make yourself more powerful, collect those mana points you missed. Nothing. Trapped. The fuck?
Quick question. Why does every single attack Vernal connects sound like a tiny drum beat and feel just as effective, but every hit from an enemy stuns you, stops you in your tracks, cracks the screen, and tears a hole in the universe until you press A to move again? Even these single-hit heal-you enemies have attacks that knock a few teeth out. There doesn't seem to be a way to upgrade yourself to perform anything that strong, and your only chance to even grasp its strength like that is by breaking an enemy's guard. That seems unbalanced.
Beyond the woefully unbalanced and repetitive combat, there is something else to crack your controller over. Platforming!
Allow me to begin. Come on.
Anyway, traversing each island and obstacle takes many forms as you find and acquire each major memory, each one adding yet another button you have to quickly press in midair if you hope to move on in any meaningful fashion. Combined with the ledge grabs that fail half the time and the walls of spikes and lasers that will force you to restart each sequence, it can get grating very fast, specifically late game.
Until you unlock flying and wall running, then platforming isn't a challenge anymore.
Except the backflip you have to do every time you begin your flight, which will usually throw you into the hazard you were attempting to avoid via flight.
Vernal Edge is a game chock full of superfluous actions and abilities that are superseded by things you find later in the game that make you wonder how much fun the game actually was when you can just fly through any of the obstacles you spent hours breaking your thumbs to perform. Combat seems impeccably unbalanced as your attacks are mere drum beats against symphonies of fists and spears flying at you. You can't strengthen your offense or defense to better prepare yourself for the new waves of enemies or those with more blue orbs to break, but they can easily wipe the floor with you.
Also, why is there a taunt button? Why is there a taunt? It does nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. I have a feeling half of you had no idea it existed until I mentioned it now. Vernal Edge is a game I abandoned after my 100th attempt at defeating the Hammer Lady in Asphodel's tower. I'm trapped in here because I can't leave and I can't win. So fuck it. This game didn't respect my time as main combat remains unbalanced, main quests lead to absolutely nothing, and the highly technical platforming was replaced with flight. Flight. This is not a game we can recommend.
This is a game made of frustrations, and it is simply not friendly to anyone looking for a fun and easygoing Metroidvania, that word, game.
Thank you for watching a review of Vernal Edge.
You're welcome.
What did you think of the game?
It's okay.
Be sure to let us know, as well as share this video around to your friend, your family, your friend again, your friend a third time, then jump after dashing, then share it to your friend one final time.
I'll do my best.
Alright, thanks again.
No problem.
Follow us for more.
Oh, okay.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
Don't fuck with reality.
Uh-oh.
Bye.
Bye.